Hello everyone, this is Sahil Garg. I am from base D2S401A and today I am presenting before you the capstone project for module 2. The project name for my capstone project is Hotel Booking Analysis of Booking.com. This is the logo of Booking.com. I have completed the project individually. So, in the project summary, the main thing we have to do is we have to analyze on the data set that has been given to us by the Elma Beta, and we have to find out the loopholes, or we can say that we have to find analyze the data and find out what all things are good for the booking.com and what all things are doing negative impact on the business. So, a complete data set has been provided to us by the Elma Beta. We have to look for the flaws and the good things in the booking.com, and we have to decide on whether what should be the changes that should be made, what should be the uh, enhancement that could be done, so that the business could grow further and bring on more revenue, enhance the customer satisfaction, get more and more bookings. So first of all, let's start from the project summary of the data analysis. The objective are the booking efficiency. The first main objective is the booking efficiency. The booking must be done well in time, and done in a way so that more and more bookings are carried forward and no cancellations are there, less cancellations are there. We have to understand the demographics of the persons that are visiting the hotel, such as from where they are and what are their preferences, what are their preferences, what are their family size, and what are their special needs that we have to cater. And apart from this, we have to also look at the revenue optimization. We just not have to look at the customer satisfaction and leave out the revenue, because everything that goes with satisfaction goes parallelly with revenue. So taking in consideration with the revenue and the customer satisfaction, we have to analyze the data set and look for the best options that we could suggest to the business so that it can improve itself. This is the GitHub link that has been provided. Now, looking at what all the problems statement that the booking.com is facing. So, in the industry like this, in the travel and hospitality industry, everything has to be refined, everything has to be enhanced daily, because there is a lot of competition in the market, and we have to continuously improve ourselves so that we can get the customer satisfaction to the best level, and we can also maximize the revenue. With this, we have to also ensure that there are less to less cancellation of the bookings. We have to also ensure that there is more revenue every passing day. So the main challenges, let's look at that. First one is the booking process optimization. First of all, we have to just conclude that the booking process is very easy, is very subtle, so that there is though lack of information, or there is nothing hidden from the customer, or so there is nothing very lengthy or very hard to book a room. It should be very easy. Revenue growth. Secondly, is revenue growth. We should always keep an eye on the revenue, so that our average daily rate is matching our revenue demand, and our daily rate is matching the cost we are incurring every day. Thirdly, is the customer satisfaction, customer experience. We have to always look at the insights from the customer preferences. For example, we have to look at the what type of meal plans, what type of room types, what type of special requests they are asking for, and we have to try the best so that we can enhance the guest satisfaction. Now, looking at the objective of the business, the objective is to optimize the booking efficiency and enhancing the customer experience. The hotel and the travel or the booking industry, the main thing is we have to just enhance the customer satisfaction, taking in hand with the taking in hand with the revenue generation. So first of all, we have to increase the revenue and we have to increase the occupancy rate. Both things go side by side. If we increase the revenue, the occupancy will automatically go up. Or secondly, we can say if the occupancy is higher, the revenue will go on. So both things come hand in hand. And the thing which comes together with this is the customer satisfaction. If the customer is satisfied with the hotel with the set services provided, it's gonna come again, it's gonna refer, it's gonna give positive feedback in the market, which gonna ultimately result in the increased occupancy rate, which gonna ultimately result in the increased revenue. These are the general guidelines for the project. Now let's begin our project. First of all, we have imported the libraries, all the libraries that we are going to use: NumPy, Panda, DateTime, Seaborn, Matplotlib. We have loaded the data, we have imported the data from Google Drive. We have given the data name .df, and we have loaded the data on the disk on the on the Google Colab. So after giving the name df and running it, we get the whole of the data. Df.head gives the top 5 rows, df.tail gives the bottom 5 rows. So data df.shape gives the number of columns and the number of rows. Sorry, the number of rows and the number of columns. So there are 119390 rows and 32 columns present in the data. df.info give all the information regarding the data, which of which data type it is, how many null content are there, counts are there. So this is all this. Data.duplicated.sum gives the sum of all the duplicated values that are present in our data. Data.df is null give the number of the null values, and when we put sum after that, it gives that sum of all the uh, null values that are present in our data set. So as we can see over here, we have four null values in children, we have 488 in country, we have 16,340 in agent, and 1,12,593 in company. This is the heat map. We have plotted the heat map using the uh, so we have plotted the heat map using Seaborn. So it is showing that the company is having a lot of null values. So these are the basic information about dataset that is giving us that there are 1,19,390 rows and 32 columns. There are 16,340 null values in agent column, 4 in children, 488 in country column, and 1,12,000 593 in the company column. Now getting the names of all the columns that are present in the our data set by using tf.columns. So these are all the 32 names of the columns that are present. Data.describe is gives us the general summary of our data. For example, when the lead time, for example, taking as a lead time, the count of lead time variables is 1,19,390. There are total number of rows of the lead time. The mean of the lead time is 104 days. Standard deviation of the lead time is 106. Minimum is 0 days, 25% of this is 18, 50% is 69, 75% is 160, and the maximum is 737. So this is the summary of all the data that is present in the data set. Now let us describe our variables. So we have hotel name, we have cancel, lead time, arrival year. So these are all the variables that are present in the data set. Nothing as ADR. ADR is a very important one. Average daily rate of the hotel. What is the average daily rate of the hotel? And other than this, we have adults, children, babies, which market segment we have booked that we have booked made the booking by a travel agency or a offline travel agent. So first of all, let's check the values for unique values in each variable. There are two types of variable, one is object and one is numerical. So first of all, checking for the categorical column, that is the object type values. So let's take the name categorical column, it's cat call. So we'll take df dot select d types, and we will include the object type of the columns. So in these columns, we are checking for x in cat columns. For all the columns that are included in the categorical columns, we are finding unique in each column. So we are having resort and city, hotel in hotel, January, February, August in month's name, etc., etc. These are all the unique values that are present in the categorical columns. Similarly, we can find the numeric unique value in the numerical columns. Exactly the same, but just we have to remove object from there and include integer 64 and float 64 by removing object. So going forward, now as our data is ready for the analysis, let's handle out the missing values. The first thing we have to do is to handle out the missing values. So as we all know, there are four columns having missing values. We have to find out the data type of each column. So we have put the name under the name of null columns, that's agent, children, company, and country, and we are finding the data type of each column using for loop. So we have three columns with float as a data type and one as object. So one thing I have to make it clear that when we have the float as a data type, we have to use mean or median to fill out the null values. And we have when we have object as a data type, we have to use mode to fill out the null values. Mean and median, we have to check where to use mean or median. If the we have to check for the skewness. If the skewness is normalized, we have to use mean, and if the skewness is negative, not normalized, positively skewed or right skewed or left skewed, we have to use median. So for the first column, that is agent, let's check the skewness. That is df agent. We are asking for the column and checking is skew. So it is giving out 1.089 data dash. So as we can see, the skewness is more than 1. As the skew is more than 1, that means it is positively skewed. And if the it is positively skewed, that means it is data is right skewed. Therefore the best central tendency that we can use will be median. So let's cross check this by using a histogram. So again we plotted the histogram. SNS.histplot, we have checking x-axis agent 10 bins, and we have also used a KD so that we can line to check our skewness. So as we can see from here, the our graph is positively skewed. Our graph is rightly skewed. So we will use median to fill out the values in agent column. First of all, we will find the median for the agent column, that is 14. Now using our code, that is checking taking out the column name dot fill na. Now putting out what we have to fill it with, that is our median. Df dot agent median, and in place is equal to true so that we can make it permanent. That's how it will fill the null values of the agent column with 14. Similarly we can do for children and company. As we can see over here, the children skewness is 4. That means it is highly, extremely rightly skewed, so we will go for median. And for the company it is 0.060. It is not highly rightly skewed, but it is rightly skewed, not extremely. We can go for both mean or median, but I took personally, I go went for median over here, finding the median for both of them and replacing the null values with each of this. Now, there was a fourth column which was having data type as object, that was country. Now, taking country, we have, as I've told you before, we have to find mode of the column which is having object as a data type. One thing more, as we know that there are 1,12,000 something missing values. So that is more than 80% of our data is missing. So we can either eradicate the column wholly or we can just replace by mode. So I not for eradicating, I just replace the column, null values of the column with mode. So we find out the mode of the country, that is PRT, and replacing it with the PRT in country column, and in place is equal to true so that the changes are permanent. Sorry for that. So now as we know that in the object column, in the categorical columns, in the object column, we have a column reservation status date. That was dates given, but the data type was object. So To first of all, we have to convert the date column from string to date and time. So we are creating a new column as res state date. We are converting it to format of year, month, and date, like this, pd to date time. Secondly, now we don't need the reservation status date, so we are dropping off that column, and we are permanently dropping it by using in place equal to true. Now we have to recreate our new column as a date of arrival. So for that, we are using a date of arrival. We are using date of arrival as date of arrival ARR as df date of arrival of month, that is the given column, dot step string as it is in float. This column is in string and this column is in float. So we are converting both the column in string and adding them by giving a space between. And after that, we are creating a one more column by the name of date of arrival, and we are converting the last created column into the format of date and time. So as you've created a new column by the name of date of arrival, we don't need the column of date of ARR. So here we are dropping off the column name at date of ARR, which is on axis 1, that is a column, and in place equal to that means we have permanently deleting it. So let's do some manipulation of our data. The first thing that I have done is I have counted out in which month we have the largest number of customers, most number of customers, and in which month we have the least number of customers. So in January, as you can see, we have the least number of customers, and in August we have our largest number of customers, most number of customers. Secondly, I have found it out how in which month we have the highest revenue, in which month we have the least revenue. So in August we have the highest revenue, and in January we have the least revenue. Now, grouping by hotel, we have to find which hotel gather grossed which how much of revenue. So resort hotel grossed 3 lakh 80, 38 lakh 3,300 3,814 units of revenue, and city hotel gross 83 lakh 53,803 units of revenue. Now data dot describe for object columns. So this is giving out the summary for the object columns only, not the numerical columns, for only the object columns. Sorry sorry now next, I have taken out the lead time, mean of the lead time days. So we are having 104 days as a mean of the lead time. This means 104 days is the number of days, minimum mean number of days which a customer pre-books its booking. Next, we have find it out by grouping deposit type and reservation status. We have find out the sum of the ADR and the mean of the lead time. So by this, for example, we are having here no deposit. There is a column and there is a type of no deposit. In the column name deposit type, we have a type of no deposit. You can see in no deposit, the cancelled ratio, the cancelled ADR is 32 lakh 19,592, and the lead time in that is 113 days. Secondly, if we check for non-refund, the cancelled lead time is 213 days. For refundable, in the cancelled date is 140 days. So if we look at this, we can just gather the information that the lead time whenever is greater than 100, 100 or 100 or 110, the chances of cancellation are too high. The chances of cancellation are too high. So this is what we gathered the information from here. Now we are checking for which category of room we are having the largest revenue. For A category of rooms, we are having much more revenue. For D, we are having a high revenue. P type of category is getting zero revenue. L type of getting revenue is eight units of revenue. So as we can see, I, K, L, P are getting very less revenue. A, D, and B, C, E, F, G are getting higher revenue. Now we are average of weeknights. We are finding out the average of weeknights, that is 2.5. People are staying more in the weeknights than in weekdays, as weekdays mean is just 0.92. Now we have find it out in which hotels of which customer type is getting generating which whatever revenue. So as we can see in both of the in resort hotel as well as in city hotels, we can see the transient group. That means the public, the normal public, the single person or the family persons are getting giving out the maximum revenue in both type of hotels. Is the same as before. Now we have grouped by the distribution channel and the average daily revenue. So in the distribution channel, we are seeing that TA and TO. TA and TO are generating the maximum revenue, that is 1 crore 1 lakh 9,272, while as undefined, or we can say GDS. GDS is just gathering just 23,266.98 units of revenue. Now this is the assigned room type. How many times each room has been booked? So L is room has been booked just one time, P 12 times, and A has been booked 74,000 times. D has been booked 25,322 times. Now we have find out which country, according to demography, which country persons like to book which type of room. So as you can see, most of the country which are giving out most of the revenue, like the room category A. So these are all the manipulations that we have done, and the insights that we found are as follows. So as we can see, August is the month that is giving out our highest revenue. August has been dealing with the highest number of guests. January is the lowest with the guest and the revenue. Category wise, A category rooms have been booked more than anyone else. Breakfast option was choosing the maximum times for the cancellation. As I have told before, if the booking is made prior to 100 days, their chances of cancellation are much higher than if the booking is made 90 days or 60 days before the booking. People like to visit more on weekdays, less on weekends. People like to use travel agents or travel operators more to book the hotels for them, and PRT has been the country that has been booked the most number of rooms in the hotels. Now, let us understand the data by plotting some charts and understanding getting some insights, and what all after the insights, what are changes we can make so that we can improve our business. The first chart is count plot by hotel category. So we are just counting the hotels by each category. So as we can see, resort hotels are just the half of city hotels. As we can see, 40,000 are resort hotels and 80,000 are city hotels. So I picked this particular chart because using the count plot we can get the exact number of things that are included in the uh, data set. Insight that I have found is the city hotel has been booked 80,000 times, where the resort hotel has been booked 40,000 times, which is all completely 100% less than the city hotel. So by this we can get the insight that if more focus is done on the resort hotels and more priority is given to the resort hotels, so that we can get more customer in the resort hotel, or the second insight maybe if we can more improve the services of the city hotel so as to gather more revenue from them, as more guests are visiting over there, our business can go further. Second is a line chart with respect to date and average daily revenue. So first of all, we have just extracted the month column from the date column. So that was our date column, and we have just extracted the month column as a new month, as a new column. So we have just used SNS.line plot to plot the line plot, and we are using data set at DF. The x-axis is month and the y-axis is ADR. We have used the purple color. Title of the chart is line chart with respect to date and average daily revenue. Let's see. So as we can see over here, the as the months are increasing, is starting from here: January, February, then March, then April. So as you can see, from the in the eighth month our revenues are highest, that is the August. And in from the ninth month onwards, or we can say from the, yes, from the ninth month onwards, our revenues start declining. And from the third month itself our revenues get increasing. So for the following data, I picked up the line chart because it can show the relation between revenue and the months very easily. So as we can clearly see from the graph, July and August and April and May, these are the months in which we are having a spike in our demand. And after the September, we are having a downfall in the graph. That means we have a downfall in our business. So from this, we can get an insight that during the winters, people tend to visit less. So we should just lower the, either lower the rate of the rates of the rooms, or we can give some attractive packages or discounts so as to attract the customer during the winter season also. Now the third chart for our project is the box plot for lead time, that how much lead time people are taking. So we have given a figure size as 3512, SNS dot box plot, where DF is the data set, X is the lead time. Vertically we have made it false and the color is turquoise, and the width of the line is 2. So as we can see here, this is our box plot where the maximum time is somewhat near 400, the minimum date is 0, the median is somewhat near 80, and the 75 is around 180 or 160, and these are all the outliers which are going farther till 730, 730, 740. So I picked this particular chart because in this particular chart we can get the outliers in the following data set. The insights that we can get from this are, insights that we are getting from here is that the minimum value is 0 at the maximum value is around 380. The IQR for the following graphs. So to find the IQR we have to just do Q3 minus Q1, that is 160 minus 110, that is 150, which is the median of the data. Is equal to, sorry, the median of the data is 70. The graph is also positively skewed. So we can clearly see that the average person makes a booking is around 70 days. For some people, bookings more than bookings are made more than 365 days, or more than a year before they are going to arrive at the hotel. So if, as we can see from from here, if the booking have a lead time more than 90 days, the booking should be non-refundable, because if the bookings are refundable, the customer are more likely to make cancellations of the booking, and there is a revenue loss from the cancellation. Fourth is the scatter plot, that is showing the total number of requests as the average daily revenue. So we have just used the figure size as 8,8, and we have used SNS dot scatter plot where DF is the data set, X is the, on X axis we have total number of special requests, and on Y axis we have the average daily revenue rate. Title of the quiz. So from here we can see there are very much, these are the all the values that we are getting as per the average daily rate from the special requests. So when the zero requests are there, there are many special requests, and when there are one special request, the revenue is days, 2 days, 5 days. So I was choosing this specific graph because just to check if the graph, if the person who are making special request are going to pay, are willing to pay more or not. So the insights are, as we can see that guests making one or more special requests are paying more for the special request. So with this we can get this insight is, uh, if the guest make a special request, we can charge them more, which will increase, ultimately lead in the increased revenue. Fifth chart is the average daily revenue by market segment. how much average daily revenue is is generated by each market segment. So as we can see, the direct market is generating, and online travel agents market is generating the maximum revenue, while as the complementary segment is generating the least revenue. So by this, we can get the insight that the we can enhance our strategies for the market segment that are doing good but not the best, that is corporate groups or aviation, and we should also look at the complementary section so as to maximize the revenue from that. Pie chart for meal dissection. This is the pie chart for meal dissection. That means which that the guest like which type of meal mostly. So as we can see, the bread and breakfast type of meal is preferred by 77.3% of the guest. Half board is liked by 12%, or full board is just liked by 0.7%, undefined is 1%, and self is done by 8.9%. So from the above chart, we can easily understand that bread and breakfast is the most demanded meal type. Uh, Now, moving forward. So, the insight that we got from here that are these: कि if more guests are opting for FB or HB, that means full board or higher half board, we are going to get more revenue. So we have to launch some promotional offers for half board or full board, so that customer can opt these type of food choices too. Next is the pie chart for deposit type. What type of deposit the guest like to make. So as we can see from the pie chart, first of all, let's see at the code. We are having the size is 8,6. We have just created a name deposit TP, which is the count of value of deposit type, because the deposit type is in object categorical column. So we have counted the value of each deposit type. Now we have just plotted the pie chart by using the title of types of payment at the time of booking, where the axes are equal. So we can see 87% of the guests like to make no deposit at the time of booking. 12% are having non-refundable booking, and 0.1% are doing refundable booking. So by this we can just analyze that 87% of the guests are not willing to take risk, or they are not sure about that about their visit. So if we do a lot 87% of our bookings by not taking any advance amount, the cancellation rates will be much higher, which will ultimately lead into the decline in the hotel's revenue. So the insights which are that if we promote other deposits, so like if we promote the deposit which is non-refundable and just reduce the rate for non-refundable, maybe guests would choose that, and lower we could have more revenue, because the cancellation would be lower and the occupancy will be higher. Next is the violent plot for lead time over hotel. So as we can see over here, the lead time in the resort hotel is showing much wider than the city hotel, and the resort hotel is booked. City hotel is booked much prior. As you can see, it is going till here. The outliers are very less in the city hotel. As for resort hotel, the outliers are much higher. So in from this chart, we can see the behavior of the booking, and we can make data driven decision to enhance the revenue and the customer and improve the customer satisfaction. so that hotel can create a competitive advantage in the market. Now checking the cancellation by market segment, we are just counting the number of cancellation by each market segment. So we can see direct the number of cancellation is, see, this is the count column and this is the market segment column. So for zero we have the uh, so here we can see the blue line is for the booking made by the each market type, and the yellow line is for the cancel type. So as we can see in the groups type, the number of booking made is less than the time it has been cancelled. So this chart helps to identify which segments have the highest cancellation rate, and we can target that segment and get less cancellation after this. Next chart is the average daily rate by room type. So we have used a bar chart in this, and just to show which category of room is generating how much revenue per day. So as we can see, the H category type of room is generating the maximum revenue, while as the B category of or A category of type of room is average daily rate for that is the least. A and B are the cheapest rooms, whereas the H and C are the H, C and G are the expensive rooms. So from here we can improve our revenue management. We could surely try to make more revenue by allotting the room which are having generating more revenue, or we are which are having more rates. We should try to help people or suggest people that getting the room which are having more rates are more beneficial or more luxurious or more advantageous for them. This is the correlation heat map between all the columns that are given below, given in the data set. So the correlation is a thing that describes everything between a ratio of 1 is to 1, minus 1 and 1. Everything is between minus 1 and 1. So from here, as we can see, the lead time or is cancelled show a positive cancellation, positive correlation. So it suggests that booking made in far advance have a higher likelihood of being cancelled. So the hotel should encourage different methods to avoid cancellation and opt for new policies. Lastly, the last chart is a pair plot that is showing the scatter chart for each of the following: a lead time, ADR, total special request with each of them. So as we have gathered much information, so looking at the solutions that we should have are, first of all, we should focus more on the room type which is high in demand, and we should as we can see from above, the A category room is higher in demand, and the category which is generating the most number of revenue is the H type. So we should try and encourage the guests so that they book H type. We can encourage them by upgrading their room for the first time so that they can enjoy the benefits of the H room type. They can enjoy the luxuries of the H room type. So when in future they come to the hotel, they are insisted on the H room type. Secondly, the lead time, which is the most important. The lead time should be as low as possible, because as the lead time grows, the chances of bookings getting cancelled grows. So when the bookings are cancelled and there is no deposit, there is a loss of revenue, and there is a huge loss of revenue that can be seen in the data set also. Thirdly, the hotel should also focus on giving the best hospitality service they can give to the guest, because guests visit hotel to experience the hospitality. The better the hospitality, the positive feedback they will give, and the more positive feedback you will receive, the more chances are there that more and more guests are going to visit in that particular hotel. Now After all, concluding our project, we can summarize this in the following points. First is the booking lead time. The booking lead time shows the lead time, the less, the better. Marketing segment, we can see different booking channels that are travel agency, travel agents, online TATO, showing various need of the market and what are the strategies we should make to make them more uh, effective. Cancellation and rebookings. Higher cancellation rates increase as it is showing for some of the categories. That means it has a potential for growth or it has a potential for improvement. So if we improve that, we can growth in that and we can get more revenue in that if we have less cancellations. Previous cancellation has a very uh, heavy impact because if the cancellations are more, if the cancellations are more done by a guest, so we the hotel should check on that. If a guest has more cancellation, that he or she should not be allowed to make a booking without any deposit. Now the strategic implication, revenue optimization. There is the room should be dynamic, means if the demand of the room is higher, the room price should be higher. If the demand is low, the room price should be low, so as more and more people can book the room in the lower price. Operational efficiency. By this we can analyze our booking demands and booking patterns, customer demand and customer booking patterns, and at last the improved customer experience. We should tailor our services and hospitality in such a way that the customer has the best satisfaction, so that the guest can be loyal and satisfied with our hotel chain. Thank you. And I am just submitting the link of the video after this. Thank you.